Hello again, everybody. I'm back with you again for another lesson. And today what we're going to do is we're going to make a special drawing for moms. And in this picture we're going to make a tree that has a special message for mom. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need some paper. If whatever kind of paper you have works, it's fine. And something to write with and draw with. Okay? So I've got just a regular old marker. You could use a pencil, anything, all right? Anything is fine. And the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna establish a horizon line. The horizon line is a line that separates the ground from the sky. So everything below the horizon line is the ground, and everything above it is the sky. And our horizon line is gonna go across our paper, the whole width of the paper, okay? So just a nice straight line all the way across like that, okay? And the next step, we're going to start by drawing a tree. Now this tree is going to be pretty simple because we're going to break it down into little steps, and we're going to use a lot of different alphabet letters and numbers to help us. So it's pretty basic. It's using lines and things that you already know how to do. So I kind of call it the alphabet tree. And the first step in our alphabet tree is to make the trunk. Right, the trunk of the tree. And we do that real easily by just drawing some number 11 lines. So these lines are going to go up about halfway from the top to your horizon line. So not all the way up to the top, but about halfway to the top of the page, okay? So two little lines like the number 11. All right, that's our trunk. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this number 11 into a letter, right? We're going to turn it into the letter Y, right? The letter Y. We all know how the letter Y looks. All right, what letter are we going to turn it into? Y? Well, because we're going to make a tree. But what letter? What letter are we going to turn it into? That's what I'm asking you. Y? Why do you keep asking me that? I just told you. Because we're making a tree. That's the letter Y. That's what we're going to make it. Okay, moving on. All right, so I'm going to make the letter Y with arms out like this and like this. Okay? So now we've done two steps, the 11 and the Y. Okay? The next steps, some of you know this story, but we're going to have to enlist the help of some very famous alphabet letters. They're actually twins, two twins that look exactly the same. They're the capital letter V. We call them the V brothers. Some of you at home, you already know about the V brothers, but for some of us, we don't know. So I'll share the quick story, as quick as I can tell it, about the letter V, the V brothers, right? To help us draw this picture. So, once there were these two V brothers, capital brother V's, and they were sitting around the house. They were very, very bored. Now, these two V's, they didn't agree on very much. In fact, they argued a lot. They didn't always get along. They weren't always good friends. So, one day, they were so bored, and they just couldn't figure out what to do. One V brother said, "Brother, I'm very, very bored." And the other brother said, "Yeah, I'm bored here. I'm bored too. Yeah, look here, see? I think we should go outside for a walk." And the other V brother said, "Well, that's a swell idea. I think we should do that. Let's go for a walk, brother." So they actually agreed. They don't normally agree, but they actually agreed to go out for a walk. They got out to the front porch, and then they couldn't agree. They couldn't agree which way to go. So one V brother said, "I think we should go that way. Why, it's positively lovely over there. I can see the sun is shining. It's a bright and beautiful day. It's warm and beautiful that way, brother." And the other V brother didn't agree. He said, No, you're wrong. You're all wrong. See, we should go that way. Yeah, that way. That way is very nice and sunny. I don't see a cloud in the sky. That's the way for us, brother. That's the way." Well, they couldn't agree. So they each went different directions. And the first brother, he went that way. And he was right. At first it was beautiful, and the sun was shining, and it was a gorgeous day. He thought he picked the right way to go. But as he was walking, the wind started to blow. Kind of gently at first. He walked a little further, and then the wind got a little stronger. And he kept going a little bit further. The wind got even stronger, and it blew him over. And it knocked him over so that he was like a regular V, but he got blown over, and he got stuck. So one arm was out like this at a diagonal, and the other arm was vertical, straight up and down like this, right? So we're going to draw him just like this. Here's his diagonal arm, like that. We're going to draw one just like it, right next to it, and stop when we get to where the trunk would be, okay? So that's the diagonal arm, but what about this? The vertical arm here is going to look like this line right here. Here's the diagonal, and then here's the vertical. So you see he looks like a V, but he's leaned over, right? He got stuck when the wind blew him over. So there's our first V brother. Now the other V brother, he went that way, remember? And he saw that his brother got blown over, and he said, "Ha! Serves you right, brother. You should have listened to me, yeah." And he kept walking, and at first he was right too. A sunny, beautiful day, but the wind kept blowing. He felt a nice little breeze at first. Kept walking a little further. The wind got stronger. Kept walking a little further. The wind got even stronger. Blew him over. And he got stuck this way. So one arm out this way, diagonal, and one arm straight up and down, vertical this way. So here's his diagonal arm. And then here's his vertical arm, straight up and down, just like the other guy, but the opposite way. So there's the story of the V brothers. Help you draw this tree, right? Next step, we're going to use more of those Y lines. Remember the Y lines we first put in there? But we're going to make them smaller. And we're going to put 2 right here, doot, doot, like that. We just made a smaller version of what we did down here. Right, just a miniature version. We're going to do the same thing over here. Add some Y lines on this guy. Doot, doot. And what's the next step? You guessed it. We're going to come over here. Doot, doot, like that. So now we have 1, 2, 3 new sets of Y lines. Right? Yeah. So then the V brothers. Oh man, they're still out there stuck. They're out on the sidewalk stuck, laying there sideways. And the little brothers, I didn't tell you, but they have little V brothers too. The little V brothers were worried because the big V brothers should have been back by now. And then so they're starting to kind of get worried, like, where's our brothers? They should have been back by now. Where are they? What's taking them so long? And so they decided they're going to go out and look for their big brothers who are out there somewhere. They don't know, but they should have been back. So the little V brothers ran out to the front porch, and they looked both ways, and they saw both brothers stuck. And so they, of course, naturally, they wanted to help their brothers, so they went taking off down the sidewalk to try to go help them. And as they were running towards the big V brothers who were stuck, the big V brothers were trying to warn them, "No, go away! Go back to the house!" But it was so windy, and the wind was blowing around in their little ears, they couldn't hear what the big V brothers were saying. What'd you say? What'd you say? Go back to the house! It's not safe! You're going to get stuck like me! Go back to the house! What'd you say? You got a pet mouse? No, go back to the house. But it was too late. The little V brother, they got blown over and stuck just like their big V brothers. So we're going to put some little V brothers in here. Right? So match that diagonal line up. And then the other line. Right? We're going to put 2 of those in just like we did for our big ones. So you have 2 little V brothers there. And just like the other V brothers, little brothers, they went the other way, same thing happened. They came running over, tried to help the big V brother. Big V brother tried to warn them, say, "No, look here, see, go back to the house. It's not safe. Get away from me, get away from me." What is that? I can't hear, it's too windy. Just stay away. What, you want to play? No. It was too late. They got stuck too. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Those little V brothers, pop them in. Lots of little V's. And then right in the middle, same thing. So 1 diagonal, 1 vertical. Right? 1 diagonal, 1 vertical. Okay, so now we have little branches too. So we got our trunk, and we got the side branches, and then some little branches. Now the next step we're going to do is going to be kind of like the line you use when you draw a cloud. You know, like that line that just kind of goes whoop, 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 just like that. We're going to do a line like that around each of these branches. So kind of a cloud line around each of these branches. But inside, here's an important thing. Before you do that, we want to save some space because we're going to write a little message in there for Mom. Okay, so right here we're going to save some space big enough that we can write a letter inside. All right, so then we do the same thing. Now, remember overlapping? When you put something in front of or behind something else, we can use that trick here too if we need to. So if I'm drawing my cloud-looking lines, it's really actually a bunch of leaves. But if I draw that and it's like, oh, that guy's in the way, I'm going to overlap it a little bit. So it looks like that one's a little bit in front of the other. That's totally okay. You can do that. All right, so you can use overlapping if you need to. But remember, we want to save some space in there where we can write a pretty nice sized letter, right? Alphabet letter. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 sort of clusters of leaves. Now we're going to make this tree look a little bit fuller by adding one more big sort of cloud line around the cluster that we've got, okay? So starting kind of down here where the trunk is, a little bit below the branches, we're going to make one pretty big sort of cloud line. And if it takes you a little bit off the page, that's all right, no worries. Again, one other thing that's important to mention, if you mess up on this picture, that's totally okay. If yours doesn't look just like mine, totally fine. No worries, right? Don't get upset and be like, I can't make it look right. It's okay. Don't worry about it, right? Just have fun, right? So, next step, we're going to add some texture. Now, if you've been with me before and we've talked about texture, you might remember that that's the way something feels or the way it looks like it feels, right? When I say texture, I don't mean like get out your phone and text your mom. Not that kind of texture. I mean texture like the way something feels. It might feel bumpy or rough or smooth, right? So if I went up to a tree trunk and I started rubbing a tree trunk, well, how would that feel? Would that feel smooth? No, it would feel bumpy and rough. So we're going to add some lines to make it look bumpy and rough. And we're going to do some scribbled lines, but not like crazy people scribbling, not like scribbling all over like a weirdo. We're just going to scribble a controlled scribbling. So we're going to make some lines that look kind of like scribbles, but we're controlling the scribble. So it looks like the texture of the tree bark. We want it to look bumpy and rough. Not lumpy and buff, but bumpy and rough, okay? So it kind of has that tree bark looking texture, all right? Also, we're going to add some texture into the treetop to make it look like it's not just flat, but to make it look like it has some leaves going on. And you can do that by adding the letter C or backwards letter C, sort of lines like that, or squiggly kind of lines. I'm going to do it more in the bigger part of the tree, not so much in those 3 clusters of leaves that we made, because we want to make sure the focus in there is on the letters that we're going to write in a little while, okay? So kind of put your texture in. If you're a fruit person and you want to add some little apples in there, have at it. It's good stuff, right? Whatever you want to do, but just some texture in there, okay? All right. Now, before we get to the last little message up there, we're going to add something of interest here on the horizon line, right? This tree, we don't want it to be all by itself and lonely on that horizon line, so we're going to give it some company, also something special for Mom. We're going to add some flowers, all right? So to do that, remember those V brothers? We're just going to use some regular old-fashioned V's and put a V over here and a V over here. If you want to add more than 2, that's totally up to you. I'm just showing you up here how you could do it, okay? Now we're going to put a line right in the middle, up like that, and up like that. Kind of like an arrow. Right in the ground, all right? Now we're going to add a little line like this, and a little line like that on both of those. Okay, those are the leaves. And then the stem, we want to add another line. So it's a nice long, like number 11 again. And then whatever kind of flowers. If you watched the video from last time, maybe you know we went through some flower business. But if you want to draw flowers a different kind of way, however you want to do them, it's totally up to you. Maybe Mom has a certain type of flower she really enjoys. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. Okay? A couple of flowers. Now, up here, here's what we're going to do. We're going to write, right up here, we're going to write M-O-M. Now, I'm a smarty pants. I know this. I know what this says to me. This I know how to read because I'm a super smarty pants. This says to me M-O-M. It spells dog. No. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me. I'm just pretending to you. This, I'm a smarty pants. This says to me M-O-M. This spells purple. No? Okay, hold on. I know. You tell me this. What does it say? Okay. You smarty pants. It spells mom. All right. So now what we're going to do, after we write it like that, like regular letters, we're going to make it look like block letters or bubble letters by drawing it so that you can color inside when it's time to color. So the way you do that with the O, it's pretty easy. You just draw a smaller O inside of it. Right? Pretty simple. And now with the M's, you just write another M right below it. Right below it, and then you connect the bottoms. Doot, doot, like that. Okay, that's a block or a bubble letter. Same thing, just an M underneath the one you already drew, and then just connect them at the bottom. Now when you go to color this later with whatever colors you have available, you can color inside the letters and it'll make it look a little special, more fancy and special. Okay, now the last part we're going to add. Now feel free, of course, always feel free to add any other details you want to do. If you want to put maybe some butterflies on the flowers, or some bees buzzing around, or some birds flying, or some clouds, or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to do some little blades of grass, stuff like that. Anything you want to add. But what I think would be nice if we put like a nice little message down here. So we've got a tree. It looks like a pretty healthy tree, right? And trees can't do it on their own. They need some things to help them grow. You can't do it on your own. You need something to help you grow. You need some people to help you grow too. And the person we're celebrating today is Mom. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a little message down here. Mom, at the top, thank you for, I hope that's not backwards. That might be backwards for you. Uh-oh. Thank you for helping me grow. All right. And again, color-wise, whatever colors you want to add. And here's the last step in our drawing. Okay. Give it to Mom. Give her a big hug too. All right. Let Mom know that you love her and appreciate her. And if Mom's not around, Mom's not available, give it to a mom. Maybe grandma, auntie, somebody else. Yeah. Or maybe you just make a nice picture for yourself and don't worry about all the mom stuff. All right. Anyway, happy drawing, and I hope your picture turns out well. Go ahead and send it to me in the submissions, okay? All right. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.